So I've got something important to show you today. I want you to watch this video first and foremost about this church out in Colorado, and then I want to show you a picture that's on the side of a building that is related very closely to this this image and this type of spirit from out in Colorado that I'm going to link it to in Florida. So watch this video first, and then we'll move on to a picture from Jacksonville, Florida, okay? All right.
Street in Denver, Colorado, lies a church like no other you have ever seen. A church steeped in Illuminati symbolism, fallen angel imagery, and occult practices. They call themselves the International Church of Cannabis. Traveled to Denver in order to investigate this church for ourselves and get an up-close and personal look at this modern-day den of iniquity. Built over 113 years ago, this old Lutheran church looks ordinary from the outside, that is, until you notice the oddly placed artwork covering the doors and windows. We had to see it for ourselves, so we walked upstairs.
We'll skip
Want to
to
know
the
how to
after,
get a free phone service and a new tablet? Q-Link Wireless has a government program giving you unlimited data.
We had to skip
Stairs
some
into the
ads, so
chapel.
there you go.
We were greeted by a faint but noticeable smell of stale smoke, and everywhere we looked, paintings of faces, animals, and geometric patterns all over the walls. Taken from their website, somebody asked, "What does the artwork mean?" And their reply was, quote, "When one takes the sacrament, meaning weed, and meditates on the meaning of the murals, one may have what feels like a transcendental experience. In those moments, one may receive the meaning one requires at that time." End quote. Basically, what they want you to do is get high and stare at this artwork until the spirit of the painting overtakes you and tells you its true meaning. Interesting. When I look at it, I clearly see two fallen angels sitting there with their hybrid offspring, teaching them how to open portals. If you look closely, you can even see tiny humans trapped in the trees, showing us just how enormous these beings really are. Walking through the pews, one of the first things you'll notice is the complete eradication of God's Word. There are no Bibles in here. Instead, we find dirty ashtrays. Now, let's take a closer look at some of these paintings and see if we can figure out who is really being glorified here. Because one thing is for sure, it's definitely not Jesus. Sitting in the center of the chapel, directly behind the altar, is a massive skull, the universal symbol for death and destruction. Skull symbolism can be traced all the way back to ancient Babylon, where skulls were used to symbolize the, quote, shining ones and their influence on the world. All throughout history, we see the use of skulls on prominent figures and organizations as a way to covertly show their allegiance to Lucifer. This practice can still be seen today. Have you ever wondered why so many celebrities are obsessed with skull symbolism? The next symbol we found was the Egg of Life. The Egg of Life is an occult symbol that depicts the mixing of fallen angel and human DNA. This mystical symbol can be found in almost every ancient culture all over the world, and is derived from the flower of life symbol. The flower of life can be dated back over 5,000 years and is said to contain vital information on the secrets of the universe and all living things. This is just another example of the mystery religions trying to bypass God with their secret knowledge. Good luck with that. The earliest record of this symbol was found on the alabaster steps that were once part of the palace of King Ashurbanipal. It's been dated back to around 645 BC. This symbol has been used in occult rituals since the beginning of time. Take the Tree of Life in the Kabbalah, for instance. It is taken from concentric patterns within the Flower of Life. Also, famous occultist Leonardo da Vinci was able to derive Platonic solids and the golden ratio of phi from the Flower of Life. Next, we have the only cross in the building, and it's sitting directly inside the belly of a Native American thunderbird. The origins of the thunderbird symbol can be traced back to the mysterious serpent mound builders of North America, who, in all probability, were Nephilim hybrids. The thunderbird was a spirit of the underworld and a symbol for war. The position of the cross directly inside of the belly of the beast is no accident. It's a declaration of war. This brings us to the most telling symbol inside the so-called church. The all-seeing eye of Lucifer, also known as the evil eye, the demonic eye, the eye of the deity, the eye of Horus, or the eye of Ra. It represents the spiritual eye of Lucifer and the fact that no one can escape its magical reach. In the January 1991 edition of Progress for All magazine, researcher John Todd wrote, and I quote, "The seal of the pyramid was created by the Rothschild family and brought to North America by Benjamin Franklin and Alexander Hamilton before 1776. The Rothschild family is the head of the organization which I entered in Colorado. All of the occult brotherhoods are part of it. It is a Luciferian organization to install his reign in the whole world. The eye on the pyramid is the eye of Lucifer. Supposedly, the Rothschilds have personal dealings with the devil. I have personally been to his villa and have experienced it, and I know it is true." End quote. The fact that they call themselves a church, which, by its very definition, means a building used for public Christian worship, is an absolute assault to Christianity, the very principles it's founded upon. The spirit of the Antichrist is rising in every city, every town, all over the world. The word Antichrist in Greek means instead of Christ. In other words, to replace Christ. And that is exactly what they're doing.
I want you guys to watch my next upcoming video that I got coming up. I've got some videos about my personal story and the Merovingian king bloodline that I'm from. It's a very personal story, and I'd like for you guys to see it. may say, well, Jerry, what is this you're showing us right here? Is this another one of those pictures from that Colorado church? No, folks, it's not. This is a picture from the 927 Event Center for the community in Jacksonville, Florida. See it, don't you? I run up on this when I was running for my life from a group of witches that were trying to kill me in Florida, okay? And this was one of the last things that I ran up on in Florida before I ended up leaving it in northern Florida. And this kind of thing went on from southern Florida all the way up here into Jacksonville, where that I was tucked away trying to catch a bus to leave Florida. But folks, you can see it for yourself. I mean, I don't need to, I don't know how much more I need to say. This is a painting for a community event center, the 927 Event Center for the community. If this doesn't show you guys that the rise of the Antichrist spirit is definitely a work in Florida, I don't know what else to tell you. You see it, don't you? It's the same thing you just got through seeing. But I thought I'd just bring this to your attention, guys. I mean, it's really something else if you ask me. I mean, this is a community center. You can even see the guy's car parked down here behind the fence over here. You know, this is where all the little kiddies are supposed to show up and do little things and events and stuff. And people in the community and families are supposed to get together and do this or that. The 927 Event Center in Jacksonville. And you see what kind of paintings on the outside of this, folks. I don't know how much more I need to say, really. Look at it for yourself. It's quite astounding, the things that you see right out in public these days that people pay no attention to whatsoever. And it's really something, folks, if you really think hard enough about it and quit letting your mind be conditioned to these things as being normal. Yeah. So, thank you for watching my video.